Hey there, science fans! Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of supply chains. Imagine a long chain connecting your favorite products from the store all the way back to the factories where they're made. This is a supply chain. Now picture a bullwhip cracking. That sudden snap is like the bullwhip effect in action. The bullwhip effect happens when small changes in customer demand at the store cause big problems further down the chain. It's like a game of telephone, but instead of whispers getting mixed up, it's orders for products. Let's say a store normally sells 100 loaves of bread a day. Suddenly they sell 120. That's a 20% increase. The store might order 150 loaves from their supplier just to be safe. The supplier sees that big order and thinks, whoa, demand is skyrocketing. They might order 200 loaves from the bakery. The bakery, seeing that huge order, ramps up production even more. See how this is going? A small change at the store turned into a big overreaction down the line. So, why does this happen? Well, there are a few key culprits. One is something called demand forecasting errors. That's a fancy way of saying that businesses sometimes make mistakes when predicting how much people will buy. They might rely on old data or guess based on gut feelings instead of using accurate information. Another problem is order batching. Instead of ordering small amounts regularly, businesses might place big orders all at once. This creates sudden spikes in demand that can throw the whole system off balance. Then there are price fluctuations. When prices go up and down, it can lead to panic buying and hoarding, just like we saw with toilet paper during the pandemic. And let's not forget about good old-fashioned lack of communication. When different parts of the supply chain don't talk to each other, it's like a group project where nobody knows what anyone else is doing. Finally, long lead times. The time it takes to make and deliver products can make the bullwhip effect even worse. The bullwhip effect might sound funny, but it has some serious consequences. Remember all that extra bread we talked about? That's called overproduction. When businesses make more than they can sell, it leads to waste and lost profits. On the flip side, we have stockouts. That's when stores run out of products because they didn't order enough. Ever gone to the store for your favorite cereal only to find an empty shelf? That's the bullwhip effect in action. All this chaos leads to increased costs. Businesses have to spend more on storage, transportation, and dealing with all the extra or missing products. Plus, it can hurt their reputation if customers are constantly disappointed. Remember the great toilet paper shortage of 2020? That was a classic example of the bullwhip effect in action. The good news is that we can tame the wild bullwhip effect. One way is to improve communication throughout the supply chain. That means sharing information about inventory levels, customer demand, and potential problems. Another strategy is to use demand-driven approaches. This means making decisions based on real-time data about what customers are actually buying, rather than relying on guesses. We can also try to reduce lead times by streamlining production and delivery processes. And remember those big, infrequent orders? Let's switch to smaller, more frequent orders to create a smoother flow of goods. And finally, let's invest in technology. There are all sorts of fancy software programs and tools that can help businesses predict demand, track inventory, and communicate more effectively. By understanding the bullwhip effect and taking steps to mitigate it, we can create a more efficient, sustainable, and resilient supply chain. And that means happier businesses and happier customers.